Property will tank 10% in 2023. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and we're going to have a look at an article which is, well, discussing property prices falling this year, 7 to 10% across all of Australia. Now, I know people are going, oh, fantastic, the correction, but guys, property's just gone stupid. I mean, here, look from SQM. This is asking prices. Let me refresh that. You can see how it's climbed up. Okay, well, we're going to go 10% off there. You need to think, how far back in time does that mean we're going to go? Is it a significant move back in time? It may be some people who FOMO'd in recently may be burned a little bit and may have to, I don't know, not publish their course on how they're property geniuses for a few years. But come on. So anyway, let's look at this one, guys. Because honestly, if property just goes back to pre-pandemic levels, it's not going to be affordable. It's not going to be any different, is it? To the frustrations we had a few years ago on the channel, just how expensive property was getting here in Australia. Because fundamentally, the issues that are, well, inflating the prices of our housing in Australia have not been addressed. So Australian property prices are expected to drop between 7 and 10% in 2023 as interest rates continue to rise. PropTrack's Property Market Outlook report forecasts a decline across all capital cities, with the biggest drops expected in Sydney, Brisbane and Canberra at 8 to 10%. Okay, now I live in Brisbane. Let's look at the asking prices in my city, guys. Okay, let me just full screen that so I can see it too. There we go. Look. All houses, $943,000. A few years ago, $644,000. Now, look at that jump. Oh no, we're losing 10% of this. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Come on. This is the thing. Media will always focus on the negative because, well, that's what people look at. I know that I'm a YouTuber. That's what I see. I do a positive video. No one sees it. No one sees it. Melbourne and Hobart are expected to have slightly smaller declines of between 7 and 10%. Adelaide, Darwin and Perth are predicted to fare better with falls of between 3 and 8%. PropTrack Director of Economic Research and Report author, Cameron Cusher, said this was based on the cash rate rising a further 50 points this year, followed by a period of stability. We expect 225 cash rate hikes from the RBA, one to be delivered today, which it was. Following this, we expect a period of interest rate stability. However, an interest rate cut late in 2023 is a very real possibility, depending on how the economy performs. With borrowing costs continuing to rise and the subsequent reduction in borrowing capacities, property price falls are likely to continue and accelerate in 23, with the more expensive cities likely to see the largest price falls. Yeah, but if you're up like 100% on your shitbox, are you going to care? So seriously, let me know in the chats, guys. You know, those of you that live in Brisbane, have you seen the valuation of your property? Have you seen how stupid it's getting? Are you going to care if you lose 10% of that? Oh, maybe if you're leveraged to the hilt and you're using it on multiple properties and doing some whole Ponzi scheme and selling a Facebook course, sure. But for normal, sensible people. Regional markets are also expected to drop, given their strong growth and demand is expected to slow. But even if prices fall 10% nationally, they'll still be more than 18% higher than pre-pandemic levels. According to the report, which is based on realestate.com.au data, prices dropped 2.3% in 2022. Borrowing capacities take a hit. If interest rates increase by 50 points, PropTrack said borrowing capacities would drop by around 30%. The RBA is expected to increase the cash rate when it meets it. We've seen that. We've hit that. So let's go through, well, let's talk about my argument for why we're not going to see a calamitous crash. Now, property coming off an artificial peak brought about by the lockdowns, government intervention, rising construction costs, going off that to the continuing trend of insane property growth. That's not, I wouldn't say you're vindicated if you've been calling a property crash and you point to that. That is not going to mean housing is affordable or back like it was back in the day. You know, in the boomer times when you'd only need one person to work to own a house. It's never going to happen again in Australia. Our culture won't allow that to happen. So let's look at a few things. The first thing is we've got fewer bad loans. You'll see the media talking about bad loans, non-performing loans, but they've reduced, guys, as I said before. Now, we haven't seen the impact of the interest rate increases come through yet, okay? We haven't seen them. So we've got to keep an eye on that, but these are going down. You've got, there you go, loans 30 to 90 days pretty much past due. They're also down, a 50% reduction, okay? It's falling down from just the craziness. What worries me is a precedent has now been set for the banks to shelter people from reality. I really hope we don't have. I'm half joking and half terrified that there'll be calls for lockdowns, probably from the Greens. This is a stupid shit they'd make up. We need lockdowns so POBs can save deposits. Don't let anyone spend any money. No. People are too dumb they'll go out and buy food and stuff. Lock them in their little cubicle and give them bug food. I saw some crazy Greens policies today, so that's why I'm picking on them again. And you can see here the non-performing loans, it's a tiny fraction, guys, of total credit. So we're not seeing any issues there with people missing payments. But to be fair, the interest rate increases won't be manifesting in this data yet. Now, here's something that, is returning to normal. Migration, coming right back to normal. It's even going to be higher now because Labor's lifted up the numbers. You can see there it's bouncing right back up. So for all the bitching and moaning people do about Australia, it is a pretty awesome place to live. I need to pull that chart over a bit more, but you can see it there. We can see here, people from India, China, Australians are coming back, Nepal, and the Philippines, all flooding back here to good old Australia, guys. We can see the numbers that are increasing. Now, the construction apocalypse. For those of you playing at home, our government came to the rescue. They juiced the housing market. They kept zombie companies alive, everyone. And the RBA crashed the rates. You had 5% and 2% government loan guarantees. Now you've got shared equity. You had up to 88 grand of all of these handouts. They just love manipulating the market. How can anyone argue that we've got a free market here in Australia? Really, we're not America. We're nowhere near close to that. And Australians don't want that. Aussies do not want that. But the consequence of all of this is the construction apocalypse, where you've got builders going under, left, right, and center. Again, Remy Capital, just so many ones have gone under, and we've covered them on the channel, and I haven't covered all of them. But this industry is getting hammered. So ability to address future supply, maybe with all of these international students and migrants coming to the country, they're going to need housing. It's going to be hard to address that, so that drives up the cost. You can see here, companies entering external administration. It went down when they allowed everyone to be, all the zombies to survive. It's jumping right back up. You've got government support where they, as I said, intervene in the market. Everyone, they use housing to stimulate the economy. That's where it happens. But also, you've got, I need to add another slide to this deck. You've got legislation. You've got legislation changes which drive up the cost of new build, and that flows through to the cost of existing stock. One is energy efficiency requirements. They've got all of these requirements that they put into housing. That sounds great. It sounds fantastic. It's good for the environment. It reduces the carbon impact. But it also drives up the cost. So rather than allowing the individual the choice to add this, what many would consider a luxury, because the payback period is probably longer than the house in some circumstances, we legislated so it passes this cost on to everyone. And everyone feels good, and the politicians have their sound bites, and everyone feels happy and nice, but it drives up the cost of housing. What do you want? Do you want to feel nice, or do you want people to get in a house? Do you want housing to be affordable, or do you want people to feel nice? Here in Australia, we want people to feel nice. We don't give a shit about housing affordability in this country. It's bullshit, okay? It's just bullshit. Zombies alive. This one really got to me, guys. Where they changed the rules, where they changed the bloody rules. Oh, and you've got reduced housing supply, the not in my backyard crowd. Oh, yeah. And number 5, market competition. This is where 50% of Australians live. Okay? Right here, in these 3 places. I think this one's the best right here. This is super awesome. This little area. Fantastic. You know, better than all the other ones. They play this weird football game here that's not like rugby. You know, I don't know what they do, like little short shorts and they dance around. Pretty much the same here. Yeah. Just move here. Everyone move here. But you understand what I'm joking about, guys. It's Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. That's what it is. 50% of people live here. There's going to be demand to live in these cities. So those are the three reasons, guys, that I don't think the housing sector is going to crash as much as people are hoping. Let's have a bit of a talk. We can see here the media is discussing a 10% fall, but it's still going to be miles ahead pre-pandemic levels. There are fundamental issues that Australia needs to address to make housing more affordable. A big significant one is its supply. That's what I would argue is one of the biggest. New South Wales Labor are putting some proposals in to increase density around transport corridors, which is a fantastic idea. I commend them for that. Yeah, that's what you want. You want to increase density, everyone. You want more people you want to make it cheaper and easier for people to develop. You want it cheaper and easier for mum and dads to split their blocks. You want more product on the market where people want to live. Because, I mean, we saw this map where half of the Aussies live, guys, and I'll bring that up again. You can see here, no one wants to live in all the shit parts of the country, guys. Okay? No one wants to live here. There's a reason why no one wants to live there. Because there's no work. If there is work, it's remote fly-in, fly-out work. The weather is terrible. There's, particularly for the fly-in, fly-out workers, there's a lot of mental health issues working so remotely. That's all adding to why you've got these three cities. Because think about it, you need to get local council, state and federal all working together to make housing more affordable. I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. All I can see them doing is chucking more money at the same bullshit to exacerbate the problems. You tell me what you think. You think I'm crazy, or do you think, is that predicting the future, or is it just common sense? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and Heise Does, for other content I create. And if you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our pocket squares, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.